It is the Charlotte Hornets and the Golden State Warriors in this arena. The Spectrum Center certainly expected to be packed with number 30 jerseys as Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant are in the house, beginning a 4-game East Coast road trip. For the Charlotte Hornets, this is a critical game because if you're looking at everything involved with the Hornets at 28-31, this almost seems like a must-win. The injury report, very interesting for the Golden State Warriors. Draymond Green, who sprained his ankle, and if you look at the video footage, very interesting. Green's ankle was bothering him so bad, he fell to the floor, rolled into Steve Kerr, the head coach, and Kerr really didn't even know what was going on until Draymond Green rolled right into him. Also, you see the two other Warriors on the injury report. They're fully loaded right now. The Golden State Warriors are 42-17. This is a battle of three-point shooters. Kemba Walker, of course, the organization's all-time three-point leader, and Steph Curry, who has 251 three-point field goals made just this year, over 2,000 for his career. Those two will certainly be fun to watch tonight. A special feature, ADSN 1 spoke exclusively to Brandon Payne, Steph Curry's strength and conditioning coach, and he emphasizes three key things for elite athletes like Steph Curry. Let's go ahead and take a look at this feature. Here's Brandon Payne.
Hi, this is Brandon Payne, Stephen Curry's personal trainer and performance coach. And today we're here to talk about how to become a better three-point shooter. And I'm going to talk about some of the things I talk about with Stephen, and that's footwork, flow, and finish. Those are the three elements to becoming a really good shooter. You have to have great footwork first, okay? With footwork, we're talking about being balanced. So we want our footwork and the things that we do leading into the shot to give us great balance going up into our shot. So in order to do that, we're going to ask Brett to play between his arches. So we don't want his weight leaning one way or the other. We don't want to lean it forward or backwards. We want ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips, and we want to keep his weight between his arches. If he can do that, he's always going to be balanced, and he's also going to be prepared to make a secondary move if he has to. What the flow is getting the ball up off the ground into our shooting motions. With flow, what we're referring to is the movement of the ball. So if Brett has that ball ready to shoot in his shooting pocket, we're referring to how the ball flows from here up to in front of his forehead. That is our flow. So we go from footwork to flow, and then when Brett shoots the ball, Brett, he's going to hold his finish. So we start with footwork, flow, and then we always finish. And that's whether we're catching the ball or we're taking it up off the ground. The final two things that you have to be a great shooter is you have to have comfort and confidence. So on the floor, you have to be very comfortable, and every shot you have to take with confidence. And if you can put those three elements together with comfort and confidence, you'll be a great shooter.
Now the keys to the game for the Charlotte Hornets, certainly you want to establish some consistency with the starting lineup. Of course, they made a lineup change over the weekend, subbing out Jeremy Lamb for Miles Bridges, and that lineup change was talked about a lot in this market as something that can fuel the Hornets, but so far it has unproven results. Of course, we don't have a large sample size with it. You want to get some consistency from the lineup, and you want to eliminate the second chance opportunity as much as possible for the Warriors, because with the Warriors, of course, you have the offensive rebounding tendencies of Kevin Durant, and if you give these guys any more time, any more opportunities than they already have, than they already will create, then you certainly are in trouble. And of course, rebounding is always a key for the Hornets. You want to establish some offensive rebounding, especially because that's where you got beat with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, of course, the standings, we look at the standings right here. Look at this. The Hornets are dropping down and have dropped to the 8th position in the Eastern Conference. This is something that should worry the team. There's a Twitter handle out that predicts the analytics for teams making the playoffs, and the Hornets are not predicted to make the playoffs. In fact, they're only predicted to finish with 37 wins. Right now, they're 28-31, and you see the Pistons right ahead of them. And of course, the Orlando Magic are playing good basketball as well. Another special feature on January 9th of this year, Steph Curry launched Underrated, a brand for three-star prospects. Of course,
it's not all about on-the-court activities here. Steph makes sure whenever he's in town, he gets back to the community.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Because this is a seven-city tour.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so it came to Charlotte.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Of course, it's not all about on-the-court activity. Sometimes what happens off of it is just as important. Steph Curry makes sure he gives back whenever he's in town, and that happened on Sunday with his Underrated tour, which he launched on January 9th for three-star prospects. Of course, Steph was a three-star prospect and ended up going to Davidson with an enrollment of 1,500. ADSN 1 spoke exclusively again to Brandon Payne.
We're here at the Underrated Tour powered by Rakuten Stop in Charlotte, North Carolina. The Underrated Tour, Stephen Curry's brainchild, and it's really about giving athletes like him that are three-star athletes a chance to be seen and a platform where otherwise they may not have a platform.
He was a little bit underrated when he was in high school, so we wanted to offer this to high school kids all around the country, not only in Charlotte, but we've been all over the country. We're going to continue to go to a few more places to give kids that haven't had the opportunity to get the exposure they might need to get scholarship looks. We have as many as 100 kids on day one. Day one's a day where we evaluate everybody. Day two is more of a teaching day.
So the top 30 kids are out here competing. Really excited. Today is the final day of our stop.
Ballin', go hard. Yeah.
So today we tried to bring some of our NBA concepts, some of the things we worked on with Stephen on a day-in, day-out basis in the summertime, and give those to the kids that were here and try to make sure that everybody leaves with some new information and some new skills.
Winning ain't everything, it's the only thing. Ball hard with my team till we see the ring. Winning ain't everything, it's the only thing. Started with a hoop dream, now we really do the thing. Everybody move.
We want to really drive home to the players how much detail goes into being a great player, being a good player, and then eventually becoming a great player. You have to be so detailed day in and day out, especially when it comes to, court geography, learning what you can and can't do on certain spots of the floor. Once the players in college get bigger, the floor stays the same size, so the floor essentially shrinks. So you have to really understand court geography and how to play out of certain situations. So we try to put them in those situations and teach them how to execute. Every city we've been to so far, we've had 2 or 3 guys that have really stood out, that deserve to have an opportunity to get some exposure.
So at each stop, there will be different players selected for a final stop in Oakland, California that will be happening later this spring. And we're really excited to be partnering with such a great program.
Now, who could forget, if you were here at the Spectrum Center watching the game on Saturday, how the game ended with that controversial call on Kemba Walker. By the way, the 2-minute report came out on Sunday. The NBA said that the referees did make the right call and that Kemba Walker actually traveled we'll see what comes tonight, as the Charlotte Hornets aren't an elite team. They don't figure to get a whole bunch of calls, and Kemba Walker is actually going to the line as much as some of the big-time players like Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and Damian Lillard. He's right up there amongst the league leaders. Upcoming schedule for the Charlotte Hornets, another tough one on Wednesday against James Harden and the Rockets. On Friday, they travel to Brooklyn for a game with the Nets, and then right back here Sunday at the Spectrum Center for a 1 o'clock matinee with the Portland Trailblazers. Stay tuned to ADSN1.com for Hornets coverage throughout the game, and of course the post-game will work the locker rooms for you, and we'll have head coach James Borrego's comments. Until then, keep it locked on ADSN1.com for all your Hornets coverage.